Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Look at the League. I'm Lawrence Mangenje. Lots to talk about today on the show. The relegation battle got down to the wire with Dynamos, Highlanders as well as Triangle United surviving relegation on the last day of the season. But it wasn't to be for the likes of Yada, Bikita Minerals as well as Greenfield. Lots to talk about as well. As I said, here to dissect all that with me is sportscaster Nobert Basvi. The Millennium loudspeaker.
You remind me of something.
What do I remind you of?
That name.
Anyway, so like I said, Dynamos are surviving relegation. A lot of people are saying the PSL survived a Dynamos relegation. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I've always been a person who believes in fair play. And I've always said, if a team's not playing well, they should be relegated because that is exactly what makes football great. So for Dynamos, I know many people are saying the PSL and Zifa tried to do something to at least save Dynamos, which I still believe was just a conspiracy because something was happening behind. Something I will say another time. But it is great that Dynamos finally survived that relegation. But the funny thing is, it was not just Dynamos. Even Highlanders were struggling. They almost got relegated.
Do you think this league can do without Dynamos and Highlanders?
For the first season, many people would not really enjoy, but yes, it can. It did well without Zimbabwe sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the great Dynamos escape. Chazunguza mtundu nemago. That is the general consensus in the blue half of the city. Nyika yese iri kufara, that is. The 7 million souls, the Dynamos fans are happy. Look, when Kayindu came on board, did you believe? Of course, he was very, very insisting in terms of saying Dynamos would definitely survive relegation. He was actually attributing his faith and the belief that he has in God as a pastor. Did you believe that Dynamos would escape, considering where they were when Kayindu came on board?
When I actually came, I was actually one of the people who were surprised as to what was Kayindu doing. But a man like him who knows football, Zimbabwean football, remember he played for Highlanders, he coached them as well. Indeed. Yes, and he, at some point he almost won the league with them. So when I asked myself, why would Kayindu come to Dynamos? And then I looked to a team as a coach as to why would someone do that. And I then came with an answer that, you know what, he knows what exactly is lacking at Dynamos. And he proved it by not, no team defeated him during his time at Dynamos, even up to now. So that it goes to show that he knew what exactly was lacking, something that So didn't find, something that Mablanyo couldn't find. And remember, it is under Kayindu's tenure that the Marriott anthem was not being sang. And that actually gave him a plus because people are now concentrating more on the field and what needs to be done more than the boardroom issues. Yes.
Is it? So, the Zambian mentor replaced, like Nobert is saying, Saul Chaminuka in the Dynamos dugout, and clearly was very, very insisting in terms of saying and insisting that Dynamos will survive. Let's hear what the Zambian mentor had to say after Dynamos' great escape on the final day.
First of all, it was a very difficult decision for me to make to come and join Dynamos. Looking at the position where Dynamos was, I think I had about 3 or 4 clubs that probably wanted me to join them, but I looked at Dynamos and the points that they had. But one important thing is sometimes when you are a child of God, you move with the direction of God, and the Lord says go to Dynamos, and I looked at the way the Lord goes. Honestly, I think this is a miracle. There are people who say there is no miracle in football, but what we have witnessed today for Dynamos to survive, honestly, it's a miracle. If you look at the points that Dynamos had by the time that we joined them, I think there were teams that were about 16, 17 or 18 points. Some of them were even managed to catch up with them, playing all the games unbeaten, but still on the verge of relegation. But one thing that I told the players today, I said, no matter what result that we are going to record today, we still remain in the Premier League.
Well, that was Dynamos coach Kevin Kayindu admitting that it was a miracle indeed a miracle it was, Nobert, considering that Dynamos were nearly down and out when he came on board, eh?
Yes, it was a miracle, and what I would call a great escape. And it last happened in 2005 for Dynamos. But that is a reality.
Yeah.
And if something is not done
Yeah.
at Dynamos and even Cape United
Yeah.
and at Highlanders,
Yeah.
they will still find themselves in the same situation.
Yeah.
Because a lot needs to be done. Because if you look at our league,
Yeah.
for Cape United was the last of the big three to win the league in 2016. Since then, other teams, FC Platinum, Ngeze Platinum, Zimbabwe, and now Scotland, all these teams were formed recently, most of them. So it shows that they learned something from those big three, something that they are failing to find and look for something. They're failing to see what exactly needs to be done. And those teams actually see it and they implemented it. And now look where we are. Because a team like Dynamos, we should not be celebrating a great escape like that.
Indeed. Kind was very, very clear in terms of Dynamos not celebrating relegation, clearly saying that a team of Dynamos' nature cannot celebrate surviving relegation. But across town, their city rivals, Cape United, survived relegation again, but immediately after doing so, dissolved their technical team. The Ian Bakala-led technical team shown the exit door. Is this the right way to go, you reckon?
Yeah, for Cape United, well, I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Why? Because nothing really changed much even after Lloyd Dembare left. Nothing really changed. They could not find what they wanted to do. Because a team like Cape United, you know, there are only 3 results that were more promising. The one they defeated Scotland, the one they defeated Highlanders, and they almost defeated Moors in the week 33.
Yeah.
But nothing really changed. So I think for Farajere, Ian Bakala could not give him what he was looking for. And
what is it that he was looking for? Because look,
consistency. Cape United has not been consistent.
But the objective clearly is in terms of what Ian was told when he came on board was that Cape United needed to survive relegation, for which he achieved with a game to spare. So is that really not harsh on the part of the Zambian mentor?
In football, it calls for harsh decisions. We actually saw it with our own national team, Lawrence. Michael Nis was told the idea is to qualify for AFCON. He did that, but he failed for the World Cup. And just like that, he was fired. So in as much as you are told something to do, but sure, at least go 110%, not 100% or 80%. For me, looking at Ian Bakala, he just did 80%. He didn't find a way, because in as much as the idea was just to survive relegation, but a team like Cape United he should show in the field that, you know what, we are Cape United. We are the Manchester Road Boys. We are one of the 3 surviving teams in the league, by at least defeating some of the teams that they were losing to. And that is something that Ian Bakala failed to do. The consistency. They would win today, defeat next week, draw, defeat, and then win. For a team like Cape United, it shows that you don't know what you're doing.
He reckons they don't know what they are doing. Look, we have heard a lot of things about Cape United, the money being there reportedly. So I don't know. Next season, Mapeza Ragumana. That's a question for another day. But a lot of people believe, Nobert, that of course Cape United for the first time in a long time are preparing for a new season without Lloyd Dembare being involved. A lot of people are of the belief that Lloyd Dembare's dangerous level of entitlement in terms of assuming that he is the only former player who is capable of coaching Cape United has been the biggest problem at Cape United and the major stumbling block to them potentially succeeding. Do you think that is the case, and what do you think will happen next season without him being involved altogether?
I don't think he's not involved per se, but it's in courts. Because remember that year when Cape United almost won the league, in 2019, when they lost to FC Platinum in the last game of the season, he had left for Harare City. He knew that they were in the chase. For him, it was going to be a plus, because that would make him the Lloyd Dembare that he thinks he is. Winning 2 titles, you could have said so, but he left them. So I think next season, the handwriting is there. The Lloyd Dembare handwriting is there. In as much as we can say he will not be involved, but I think during at the back you have something to say,
something to do with the club.
Something to do with the club. But I see Cape United causing troubles next season because they've already. It's the first time that I've seen them taking the league seriously. Like, immediately after the league, you fire
the
technical team. And now we now know what exactly was happening behind the scenes, especially considering the fact that they are being said they've already signed some players.
Who do you think is the ideal coach? The ideal coach, the Cape United culture, the Cape United philosophy. Which coach suits them the most?
I'd think Norman was one of those coaches, because Norman doesn't want to be told what to do. That's the problem that was there at Cape United.
You reckon?
Yes, that's one of the problems that is there. That is the reason why I'd find for Ian Bakala, it never had a consistent 11. The next thing he was changing, and we know who was calling the shots. And for Norman Mapeza, he doesn't want that. And I believe that's one of the reasons, probably, remember I say probably, why he left FC Platinum, because some people were meddling with his business and he decided to leave.
Well, like Nobert rightly said, after 10 years of being in charge of FC Platinum, Norman Mapeza, former captain of the national team, a legend of Zimbabwean football, announced after the goalless draw with Dynamos on the last day of the season that he was indeed leaving the Platinum Miners. Let's hear what he had to say.
When I went to FC in mid-2014, we had a discussion with the former president, and it was about winning the championship after 3 seasons. So it happened after 3 seasons. That was in 2017. So I think for the first time the trophy went outside Harare. So I think on that it was a record in the country. Then if you look also, what made me more happy is that from 2015 until 2025, no team has gone up to 78 points, winning the championship. We did it in 2018. Even 2022, we finished with 72 points. And these teams which have been winning the championship, they are failing to reach 70 points. So I think, don't want to praise myself, but I think I left something in Shana. There is something to talk about about this club. There is an identity about this club. So I'm grateful to those people who I worked with, starting from Mr. Mawere, those people who came after him. I think we had a wonderful time, but like I said, everything comes to an end. I had 10 and a half years of moving up and down, but with the passion I have for football, I didn't mind about it. But like I said, everything will one day will come to an end.
Coach, what do you think you're going to miss the most about FC?
The community. I think we're like a family. If you go and live somewhere for 10 years, it's the community, our fans, especially our fans. There was a time we think we were really not going well for us, but those guys, they stood with us. They are not like those very, very passionate fans, but just a few of those people, when you hear them, I can feel it. I'll miss those people. I'll miss those guys. Yeah.
That was Mshino Majuzi, Norman Mapeza, telling journalists that he was leaving FC Platinum, talking about his legacy and what he has achieved. Nobert, 10 years in Zishawan, 3 championships, 3 other titles. Glittering career, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Mapeza just showed what he is capable of as a coach. Even those who saw him playing in his playing days. Unfortunately, to be one of those, you actually saw, you could actually love football after seeing what he was doing, even in the national team and in the Champions League there when he was playing in Czech. So Mapeza is one of those people that really believes in Zimbabwean football. We need such coaches.
Okay.
Because many times, like, he went to South Africa, he stayed there, and one of the reasons why he left, we talked about it, that he doesn't want to be told what to do, especially if he says, I am the coach, and he did that with FC Platinum, and look what happened.
What is it that you think FC Platinum will miss the most about a coach of Norman's caliber?
They would miss someone who was consistent in terms of what he wants. If you listened to what he told the boys during that last game after that game, they would miss that. Not many coaches would say that, because coaches, all they can tell you is that, guys, go enjoy yourselves. We need to win, and if you win, it's a plus for them. But for Norman, he can tell you that, you know what, we won, but we still have a lot to do. And sadly, we don't have such many coaches of his caliber. And that's one thing that FC Platinum is going to miss.
He is, Nobert, reportedly on the radar of promoted Central Region champions Hard Rock, of course, owned by mining mogul Shepherd Magodora Chawanda. If he is to make the decision to go there, do you think you do well under a one-man owned team?
Football is all about money, though. And
money talks.
Money talks. And if he gets what he wants, I can tell you that Hard Rock is going to be hard next season. It will be a rock indeed, just like their name. So for Chawanda, we went to Kwekwe. We saw the stadium, what he's doing there. That on its own makes teams to be scared.
Yeah.
And the fact that if Mapeza is to go there, it's a money team that have got infrastructure that makes, because sports facilities play a very crucial role in the development of any sport. And already it's a plus. He already has that. He has money, and he has a coach that every team would like to have. So there will be a Hard Rock, and he will exactly give Chawanda what he needs, and that is the title.
Do you think the Kasongo boys, as Hard Rock are passionately referred to in Midlands, have got the capabilities of doing what Scotland did, that is to win the championship in their debut season in the country's top line?
Now that will depend with them who they signed. Because if you are to look at the team, that's one problem that we've had with many teams here. That most players who are actually so-called reject in the league would go to Division 1 and they will destroy teams, and then they'll come back. And most of them, they will also leave and go back there to Division 1. So if he is to sign players just like what Scotland did, I'm sure the only person that I know that didn't sign many players and did well was actually Lloyd Mtasa. But in this case, if he is to sign players, we know the kind of person that Norman is, and we know that Hard Rock, they've got the man to do so. They will surprise a lot.
They will surprise a lot, reckons Nobert, in terms of how the Kasongo boys ought to do in their debut season in the country's top flight. Well, we'll leave it to you. What is it that you think? Share your comments in terms of the Hard Rock capabilities. Another thing that happened this past week at the end of the season was the selection of the Soccer Stars of the Year for the season 2025. A panel consisting of selected journalists as well as captains and club coaches of all PSL teams voted via an online platform for the best 11 players of the PSL season. Nobert, we can never agree in terms of the best players of the season. But who do you think missed out first? Who is it that you think should have been there?
I think Nyasulu from FC Platinum, he did well. And the FC Platinum, in terms of defense, they actually did well. If I'm not mistaken, they conceded less goals than any other team, around 19 or 20, just like...
Actually, they conceded the joint most, the joint list. That is, was they conceded 19 goals together with Scotland.
And now that there's no defender from there to come, because most people are saying the likes of Kelvin Moyo are there because they've been consistent at the back. But we've got another team that had players who are consistent at the back, but we don't find them in the best 11. But it doesn't surprise me much, because last season we saw it with what happened to ZPC Kariba. The likes of Boyd Mtukuri, he was there. They only considered 18, but he was not a part of the best 11. So for me, I think Yasulu was one of the players who played well, and I was surprised as to why Nigel Martina was not part of that best 11. And the most surprising thing, in as much as he's good, I'm not taking anything away from Abubakar Moffat, but I think Nigel Martina was the real deal at Moors.
But look, we're talking about a player who joined Moors during the second half of the season. As a matter of fact, he played only 16 games out of the 34, but his performance was impressive. he had a lot of votes, and justifiably so, was on the calendar. It has also been dubbed as a scandal as to why he's being left out of the national team. That is how good he has been. So, don't you consider that kind of player to be good enough to be among the best?
That was going to be my next point as to if he's that good, it then means something about our selectors who select people who go to represent the country, the national team. Because you are saying you have a player like him who played 16 games out of the 34. He joined them during mid-season and already is in the best 11. But surprisingly, we don't find him anywhere near the national team. So that goes to tell you a lot about the way we actually look for our soccer stars and as well as the way we look for our people who can be part of the national team.
Yeah, look, a lot of people bash us, the journalists, when it comes to the soccer stars of the year. You know, there are times when it appears as though you guys, we are not the only persons who select those people. As I rightly said, they are captains. Every captain of the PSO club votes. Every coach in the PSO votes as well. So, how do you think the selection criteria can be improved?
It is good as it is right now, but I think we should do more to do with merit. Because like I said, one of the problems that comes that people, like you rightfully said, think that it's only journalists who vote for those. But like you said, the captains and as well as
the coaches.
Every
coach is entitled
but
to vote.
The thing that makes them bash us more is probably because they think that because now there's a general consensus, there's a belief that only journalists can actually be bought to vote for someone, unlike captains or coaches.
Okay.
That's what makes this thing more dangerous. So I think the PSL needs to come with a new criteria that also involves the fans, not just the fans' favorite. Because you know that I can just... a team can just buy airtime for their supporters. Let's say if they are 7 million, like what they claim Dynamos says 7 million, and they can give, if they can give airtime to their, they can obviously vote for. But I think they need to come up with something. Like I said, we are now living in the digital era. I still reckon the PSL needs to find a way that
to accommodate
the fans, as well as yes, the fans. Why? Because a player can be playing good football in Chisumbanje, but no journalist went there.
Okay.
Yes, maybe they're doing wonders there, but the following week they come to Harare or they go to Blawayo and they play, and it will not be their day. And you say, no, this player is not good enough. How come? Because there are no great stories that are written about people who will be playing in the most remote areas. So I think the PSL needs to come and give us the statistics of some of the games that are not covered, so that we can actually, the fans are involved as well, and then the journalists, the coaches, and the captains.
They're involved as well.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I agree with him in terms of like a lot of people playing outside Harare not being recognized enough. I actually voted for Triangles Munashe Bamana. Unfortunately, he didn't make it to the final 11, but I did vote for him.
He was good.
But don't you think, including the fans who give an edge to teams like Dynamos and Islanders, because obviously, in terms of the big numbers they command, is it possible that a Dynamos fan can be objective enough to vote for a Triangle player?
A football-minded, someone who really knows football can actually do that. But one of the problems with our football is that we're obsessed with names. That's why you find that if someone is to say something about a Dynamos player, I myself can actually say the person was tending, who did great for me at Dynamos was actually their goalkeeper.
Prince
Tafremunza more than...
Unsung hero, isn't it?
Yes, he was. Because I looked at some of the steps. Even look at the last game they played against us. So he made one of the greatest saves in the PS, one that could have costed Dynamos their place in the league. But he did that. But because we are obsessed with names, we go for those who we like. Maybe we see them in the national team. We see them after games.
The
poster boys. That's where the problem is. That is the reason why if a best 11 does not have a player from Capes, Dynamos and Islanders, people can just say, this is nothing. Why? Because we are obsessed with names. So we need to look for... Merit should play a role. And those who really love and understand football can actually do the unthinkable of voting for someone who was not part of their team, but who was doing well for another team.
Talking about merit, let's talk about the coaches. Obviously, the same panel that comprises of journalists, captains, and coaches vote for the coach of the year. In your view, and objectively speaking, who do you think deserves the coach of the year award for season 2025?
For me, there were three, but one then did well. Let me just start with the yes.
Tell us all the three.
There was Lloyd Ntasa, and then there was Kevin Kaindu, and then there was the triangle coach that is Genesis Mangombe. Because when you took a triangle, they were fighting relegation, and of course they survived on the last day. Thanks to that 80-minute equalizer against Greenfield. But he did well because look. First six games they lost all their games. They didn't even win one, but a lot of people had written them off. So he did well. And for Kevin Kaindu, we also what he did playing those 11 or the games, 10 games, and he didn't lose a single game. And now he's in Chibuku final, just like Genesis Mangombe.
Indeed.
So they did wonders with their teams. They made them survive relegation, and now they're in the Chibuku Cup. And then for Lloyd Mtasa, for a coach who was coaching in Division 1, he came with the same players, and he just added 2 players, and he finished the second. We've never seen that. If you want to trace back even up to the 90s, we've never seen many coaches who come from Division 1 straight into the league, and they don't include many players. They just add 2 players, and then they finish second. That's something that we've never seen. So for me personally, I'll say Lloyd Mtasa is the coach of the year.
He reckons Lloyd Mtasa deserves to be the coach of the year. Do you think that most team was a beast to the point of Lloyd Mtasa being reckoned as one of the best in terms of the 2025 season?
It was. Moz was not was not a good place to go for other teams. Angwa Mariro Chete Baba. Mariro, and that shows that the coach knows exactly what he was saying. I remember going there for this other game, and he lost it to Simba Bora.
Yeah, 1-0.
Yes, 1-0. And there are some most fans who were complaining. Baba, they're gonna fight.
Fans fighting amongst
Yes, saying, you know what, you cannot say you should fire Mtasa. Who should come? We don't have any other option. He is a great man, and I'm telling you, they say they were going to win that league, or we'll be in the top 4. That's what that fan was saying, and it happened. So I'm now wondering, that guy was beaten. Now what is he thinking?
Now what is he thinking? And then lastly, Nobert, the big one. The Soccer Star of the Year award. The biggest individual football award in Zimbabwe. Iconic, historic, and prestigious. Who do you think deserves it for season 2025? And please, justify.
For me, there are 2 players, Ziwocha and Kelvin Moyo.
Okay.
For Kev, he played all the 34 games and he was consistent, like you said.
Is that a benchmark for a Soccer Star of the Year? Playing because look, Emmanuel Jalai played 33 games.
Yes.
At some point the season before the last, and he was not even amongst the best. He was not even amongst the best 11 players. So is that a benchmark that which we can, or a yardstick that we can use to assess or measure the player's performance that he played all the games?
No, not per se. But I'm just looking at what he was doing to stabilize that Scotland back for.
Okay.
He was consistent. He did well in most of the areas in terms of defending, in terms of even passing the ball. We rarely find defenders like him. Surprisingly, like we said, the national team, which is a story for another day.
He has never been selected or even considered.
Yes, that's what makes things difficult now. Because people will be asking, how come if you say that he has been consistent at Scotland and he did well, he played all the games, how come he's not being selected?
Even for the chance squad of local players.
That's what makes things more dangerous, Lawrence. But if you are one person who went to all those matches, to most of their matches, I've gone to most games that Scotland played. If there was a player who was doing well for me, it was him. Okay. And for that, I would say he will be part of those. And for us, watch also what he did at Simba Bora. there are games that you would think that it was not in their favor, but you just arise from nowhere and you do wonders. That midfield part with Makunike, it was just a marvel to watch. But for me, it was him as a watcher. So for me, and then William Tole.
The first foreign goalkeeper,
yes, to be part. But I wanted, he did well. I think the last foreign to win in the only, if I'm not mistaken, was actually Joseph Kamwendo. And now I think we can have another one if it can happen that way, that a foreigner can win actually the Soccer Star of the Year.
The duo of Ziocha and William Tole, as you said, very, very unfortunate that Simba didn't win the championship.
Yes.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be any debate, isn't it?
Yes, that's one of the problems that we've seen. It doesn't. You actually rightfully said that someone played 34 games. Is it a yardstick? It's the same applies that comes to forwards. That a player wins top goal scorer. Does it really mean that he was great? I can give you a scenario. Someone can score 13 goals. And in all those 13 goals, there's no penalty. And someone can score 15. But in those 15, 7 were penalties. But automatically they are part of that best 11. I'm not taking anyway from Navaya. I'm not taking, but my point is, some of the things, just like the same with the goalkeeper, that someone kept more clean sheets, doesn't necessarily mean that
he was the best goalkeeper.
He was the best goalkeeper. But why? Because you look at teams like Scotland. They had 3 goalkeepers. They were changing them, and one of them had 13 clean sheets, but he didn't play all the games. But someone who had played all the games, obvious, you stand a more chance to have more clean sheets. So something needs to be done. Even if you look at the Dynamos goalkeeper, he did well. It was not going to be surprising if he was part of that. But sadly, people, they have different views. Indeed, thought is free. They thought what they thought, and it happened that way.
Indeed, thought is free, and opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. Interesting insights there coming from Nobert Basvi, who reckons the fans should be involved in the selection panel for the Soccer Stars of the Year. Interesting analysis there. Nobert, it was a pleasure having you on. Let's look at the league. Looking forward to having you on another episode. Thank you so much for coming.
I think it was good to be here. I think I should prepare myself for AFCON.
Is it? Interesting analysis there. Thank you guys for watching. This was this week's episode of Let's Look at the League. See you in the next one.